Bitcoin is much more quiet than before. Than 10 years ago, Bitcoin is so volatile. What is going on with Bitcoin? Are we going to have a big move? Today, I will give you some insights from the chart. Welcome to ymchannel. This channel is about trading strategy and money mindset to help you to make more money. Click like, subscribe, and share with your friend. This is only for education purpose. We don't recommend any trade. This video is for the long-term investor. It's so incredible important because I know many people like to buy and hold Bitcoin, but can we do that again? Are we going to make the same return? So today I'm going to give you some insights and some shocking news from the chart. So now we look at the Bitcoin. This is our weekly chart. Basically, the history, this is a historical record from 2009 when they just started the Bitcoin. What is going on? Bitcoin in the beginning, they go up so fast. If you trade Bitcoin 10 years ago or 8 years ago, you will understand what I'm saying. So which is like every day go up by 10%, 20% is very normal. But now it's getting so quiet. So what is going on? So Bitcoin used to be a very good tools for the financial freedom, or they can broke your portfolio very quickly. What is going on is very fluctuating. So you can see here from the bottom to the top, this cycle, they go up by 62,000%. This one, the second cycle, they go up by 12,000%. The third one is getting 2,000%. What is going on? So you can see the range is getting narrow and narrow and narrow. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The first one, basically, if you divide the relationship, the second one divided by the first one, and you will get 19.4%. So the second cycle, the growth basically is 19.4% of the first one. And this one, the third one, is basically is 16.9% of the second one. Okay, so if let's say because we only compare with 3 cycles, so let's say we take the medium, the middle one. So this plus this divided by 2, we get 18.15%. So what do we get? So the growth will be around 371. We get about 70,000. 70,000 is the target price. Okay, so let me make for you to show you. So around here. Okay, so basically around 70,000, which is our previous peak, right? And the next one, if we use the 19.4%, so remember, this is just a approximate estimate what is going on with the peak. Should we expect they will go to 1 million? Because, or are you dreaming? Okay, so at least you have an expectation what's going on next. So let's say if we use 19.4% growth from this to this, so we get around 397%. So which is, let me enlarge it and show you here. If we get to around, basically around 400, we will get to 75,000, okay? So this range, which is still not far from our previous peak for long term, okay? Okay, so now what is going on? I want you to understand while we are going under this curve, if you look carefully, because we are going under this curve, so the growth is much less than before. The growth is much, because the curve is like this. We are getting flat. We are getting like not moving much, like the range is getting smaller and smaller. Although people talk about the ETF or they talk about they have the volume, but you can see each time they have the volume, the range is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It seems like it's squeezing the energy. Does it feel like it's like squeezing the spring or something? Okay, squeezing the energy. So what is next? Are we going to boom going up or boom going down? Not happening in this cycle, but you will have a big movement after this cycle. Okay, so either go up or go down. So I will tell you what is going on. We are using another indicator called HV. This one can tell how volatile is the stock. Okay, so this is a free indicator. So you can see at the beginning, we are so volatile. We can go up to like around 566 for this index, right? So, and we are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You see the peak each time is getting lower and lower and lower. It's getting so quiet. So right now, today we have 29 for weekly chart. But what I want to show you is if you line up the peak, you will get this line, okay? And you will get also a horizontal line here, around here, okay? Around here, you will get this graph. What is that graph mean? This is a typical descending triangle. What is descending triangle? The peak is getting lower and lower and lower. So what is that? Is it same as the ascending triangle, which is like 80% going up because the lower is getting higher. But this is opposite case. The higher getting lower and lower and lower. So it doesn't look good in long terms. It doesn't look good in long terms. So I'm not saying 100% they will break down to downside. No, but it is a high possibility. If you get down to downside, and basically you will have a big, it means the volatility will get lower. What does it mean when the stock get very low volume trade, get very low volatility? What does it mean? It means the stock won't go up. It means the stock will be very flat. Okay, so you need to be careful about this. So once they break down, which is like 70 to 80%, they break down here, they break down this line, then the HV we have some problem. The HV we have some problem. If we look at, how about the timeline? Around here, if we extend this line peak to peak, like we line up this. So we line up this peak. It's more accurate. It's around May. Around May 2026 is the deadline. Before that, it has to break out, either go up or go down. Does it make sense? Because this is inside the triangle, okay? Because they're touching so many points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 points. If we line up here, it's also okay. If we line up here, would be even here. So we line up this point, would be around November 2025, November 2025 to December even. So it depends which one we break into, but this one is more accurate, the first one, because you're touching the point to point, okay? You're touching the point to point. So it's around that range. 2025 is critical, around like August, September, November, October, around this range. So you can also see the first one is 106 days. The second one, the second cycle, 121 days. The third one, 133 days. If we link up, if we do 133 is around June. But if we line up, because each one they go up by 20 week or 30 week. So if we go up, let's say 20 week, we will stop around here, around November. Okay. So if we go further, 10 more week, so it would be like, so 30 weeks, so 183. So around 2026 January, the beginning of January. But if you watch my video, the previous video I have talked about is October, around October is the peak, 225. Because we are not, maybe we don't go to the dead end. We don't go to the points. Maybe we break out here on the halfway. Does it make sense to you? Yeah. So click like right now if you like this kind of video. This is just what the chart tell you, the HV is getting lower and lower and lower and lower. So we need to be more careful about when all the people talk about Bitcoin, you need to be careful about that asset. So it means something, okay? So what's going on? I'm not saying, so after this cycle, if they break down this trend line, the blue line, basically you need to be very careful. You need to be very careful because each time when we are hitting the peak, it is very volatile, right? But if it is not volatile anymore, it getting very flat, it getting very boring. Basically, you will entering one kind of like a start to have a consolidation, start to build the base again. So it's possible with this kind of chart, they come to have a little bit drop before another big bull one. It's very possible. Okay. If you look at some people say, oh, no way it's going to have the ETF. Oh, no way if it's going to have the volume. Yes, everything is true, but also I want to check with you is the chart. What the chart telling us is the HV is getting lower and lower and lower. And if you really look into the chart, the chart doesn't lie to you. This is the 19%, this is 16. So each time it's much less than the previous cycle. So, and each time they also have the volume. So it doesn't change at all. So we are doing exactly the same thing. Is do you expect the ETF can make a crazy high like the first cycle, the profit, the yield? I don't think so. ETF is ETF. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's two different things. When people pump into ETF, it doesn't mean the money will go directly to the Bitcoin. Does it make sense to you? So after this cycle, what I want to say is after this cycle, you need to look into this chart. What is going on? Are they going up or going down? If they're going up, it's possible we restart the whole very frustrating, very exciting mode like this one. If we are going down, you need to be careful. We are on the 19, this one, the index on 19. So it is possible to go lower. Yes, it can go to much lower than that. So it's possible it get very, very quiet for a while. Okay, maybe it's some regulation. You don't know. It just match every single time the timing. The timing, this chart, it happened like I can give you this chart 1 year ago. Or I can give you the chart of Binance 1 year ago. But what is going on? They can kind of like predict what is going on, what is the possibility of the movement. Remember, the chart is always about possibility. It's no guarantee. So you need to learn how to read from the chart to get your best bid. Okay, so this is the update for the Bitcoin. For the one who really want to buy and hold forever, you really need to consider what is going on after this cycle. Because this cycle, after this cycle, what next? If the one, okay, if the one you hold from here to here, congratulations. But you will also realize, hey, it's not moving like before. It's not moving like before, okay? So I just want to give you a bit more insights from the chat. If you like this kind of video, click like right now and subscribe and share with your friend and give me some thoughts about what do you think about Bitcoin this cycle will go to? What is your target price? What do you think you would go to? Maybe I was wrong, but I just tell you what is the chart telling us. So I see you in the next video and everyone have a nice, happy weekend. See you. Bye-bye.